Hey guys, Anthony for Before Touring Australia. Just going to have a quick chat about some weights to do with roof racks. How much weight can you put on the roof of your vehicle, your Prado, or your particular brand or style of roof rack? Right here we've got the ROLA Titan, and it's pretty bloody strong. So I reckon the best thing we can do is let's get up on the roof and talk about it there. Okay, so we're up on the roof. I'm 100 kilos, so I don't know. How strong is this roof rack? I don't know. I'm more nervous about walking around on the roof, you know. I think I've got a height problem. This is mounted on the LRS 034, right? You can see 4 mounts. One there, one at the back corner, they're not at the corners, they're right there. See where the bolts are. They're your mounting points. I'm walking in the middle, right? 100 kilos right there. I'm bouncing on it a bit. I don't want to wreck it or anything, but I don't want to fall off either because, you know, it could hurt. But I'm just walking around slowly. No, I haven't done this before. This is R&D, mate. This is real stuff. You know, R&T you, research and tell you, that's what we do. It's not even flexing. I'm walking around on it. Well, I shouldn't say it's not even flexing because, of course, it's flexing a little bit. But, okay, so the point is, I'm nervous standing on the roof. No, the point is, the roof rack can take a lot more than 100 kilos. So I believe that if we put a strap from the mounting points, you know, and try to lift the vehicle, you're going to rip the roof rack off the roof of the vehicle. But at what pressure? Look, you could put half a ton on this roof. You could put half a ton on it, no problem. If you had a big rooftop tent, you don't want to drive around with half a ton. So it's more about the strength of the roof rack. There's nothing wrong with the strength of the roof. It's not a strength issue, okay? The biggest issue you got is, I need to get off the roof. So can I get down now that I've proven the point that, look, you can put 100 kilos right in the middle. Here we go, bouncing, you know, stamping feet, whatever. So the ROLA Titan is bloody strong. The roof of the Toyota is strong, but how safe is it driving around with a heap of weight on your roof? All right, so let's think it through. This is, remember I keep saying this on both YouTube channels. Let's bring back common sense. Start to think. Okay, so the roof, the mounting points up there, each side, they're strong. There's no issues with the strength of mounting points, right? How much weight can I put on my roof? If someone says, hey, you know, how much weight? Send them this video because we're going to sort of cover most of the important information. And we're not doing this video for ROLA or for King's awnings, swags, or some shovel or whatever, or Toyota or me. Doing it for you. So the mounting points are strong. This roof rack's strong. The mounting system is strong, okay? It's in other videos. You're probably hard to see in there, but it's proper. There's bits of steel and aluminium and bolts, and it ain't coming off, right? Now those plastic rails, they're not just plastic, they've got aluminium in them as well, but everything can break in the end. Everything's got its limit, and the only way to know, with all the combinations of things you put on there, is to do it and, you know, pull it, and eventually metal fatigue and things break. But this, rock solid, I recommend keeping your roof weight to a minimum. I don't like rooftop tents because, you know, they're pretty heavy, and all the weight, the higher you go, the worse it is. It's more about the handling and the safety of the vehicle more than the strength of the roof and the roof rack. So for us, we keep it to a minimum. We've got, so straight away, I believe Toyota say you can put about up to 100 kilos on your roof. I've heard that a lot. I don't know if that's right. It may vary from vehicle to vehicle, but I would suggest they're not just rating the mounting points. It's not about rating those mounting points. They're saying 100 kilos on your roof, mate. You know, that's the maximum because it's the way it changes the dynamics and the handling of the vehicle, not your roof's going to break or collapse and fall in and hit you on the head, you know. So that's the first thing to try and understand. Now, obviously the weight of your roof rack is going to be the first part of that 100 kilo limit, and I'd suggest trying to keep it under that is my recommendation if you want to know that. So we've got, say, the roof rack, I don't know, what's that, 10 kilos. You've got a awning on the side, a standard cheap awning, doesn't matter what brand, they're usually just under 10 kilos. We've got a swag up there, feels like 10 or 15 kilos, so, and a shovel. So I reckon we've got about 10, 20, 30, about 40 kilos total on the roof, and that's all right. Now, we can put 3 of those swags up there. We can put a Black Wolf Turbo 300, which I think weighs about 25 kilos, 25, 27, somewhere there. We can put that tent, we can put some self-inflating mattresses. They're things that take space. The tent's the heaviest one. A gazebo might weigh 10, 15, 20 kilos, depends which one. They're the big heavy items that you're typically going to put on your roof. And, you know, self-inflating mattresses, roll up. Doesn't matter if it's big, it's going to cost you fuel, but it's not it's less of a safety issue because it's lighter. You don't want to put heavy things up there, like big storage boxes full of heavy stuff. That's not what you do. You put your heavy stuff down low in this drawer here, on the floor in the back. If you haven't got passengers, put the heavy stuff secured at the bottom of the vehicle, the light stuff at the top. Just like this storage system, we put all the light, the bedding, the pillows, the jackets, all the stuff that takes space, that's light, we jam it in there. That's what that space is for. I'd suggest that's what the roof is for. You don't fill it up with heavy fuel, heavy wheels and tires, heavy boxes of firewood, heavy tools, and all that sort of stuff. You might put a soft clothing bag. Soft because when it's empty, it takes up less space, less wind drag, less fuel, right? And it could be lighter than a hard case, depends what you're using. So think about it to keep it light. If you've got a rooftop tent, you've got a rooftop tent, that's up to you, you know. You might not like this, but you know, we don't like them because once you get to camp and you're set up, you can't move the vehicle. You got to pack up every time, and you know, on some tracks that are a bit over, you know, they drag and scratch and whatever. And you can't look. 99% of the time you're on the road, it affects the handling, that weight on the roof. You know, body roll. You know, risk even on the tracks. Then you've got that weight up high, and this is the thing. What percentage more weight does it take to get you to tip over at 1 degree less angle on the side of a hill? And there's plenty of tracks that go on the side of a hill, and I don't want any more weight on the roof. I want to keep, you want to keep on a four-wheel drive, you want to keep the weight low and center. You want to have a wide track if possible, sort of thing. Don't go crazy with your offsets and all that though, because that causes other problems. Point is, keep it low, keep the weight low. That's why the fuel tanks are at the bottom. Fuel tanks at the bottom, keep your water at the bottom. Tools, heavy things, whatever, at the bottom as much as you can. So as far as limits go, this ROLA Titan, it's just as strong as a bloody Toyota 100 kilo rating. I could tell you that the Toyota mounting points are going to be stronger than 100 kilos, and so is the Titan rack. But it doesn't matter because the issue is safety with the weight on the roof, both on the tracks and on the road. You need to swerve, maneuver for whatever. You get a more chance of rolling the vehicle the more weight you've got up there. How long's a piece of string? Oh, but I'm never going to... Well, you never know, right? So, you know, calculated risk, whatever. These are the things you've got to think about. It's not how strong the roof rack is. Now, in our opinion, we could go over to this. Let's go over to this Rhino I've demonstrated before. You know, perfectly strong enough. Nothing wrong with it. We just prefer the Titan because it is stronger. And this one may be different to others, but we'd like to get up here. Look at the wobble in that. I'm not going to walk around. Look at these plastics. Look at the... There's so much flex in that. Look at that. I'm just giving it a tap. I don't know if you can tell, but it just wobbles around so much more compared to the Titan. The Titan's cheaper and stronger. This is not an ad for the Titan, whatever. Like I said, it's just stronger. It's just how it is, guys. It's the fact of the matter. And look, from my road testing in the workshop, it's quieter, you know. The wind noise that we might eventually get off on this at 110, 115 k's an hour is similar to what you get on a Rhino. We recently road tested at about 80 k's an hour. It was quite noisy. This, I think it's the loops. This one, you know, it's got the loops. We leave them up on the roof. You know, these little tie-down loops. Maybe that's what makes the noise. The Rhino didn't even have those on there. But anyway, so that's what you got to think about. You've got to add up the weights of what you put on there if you can. I'd be keeping it down closer to the 50 kilos, 50, 60, 70 if you can. Again, not about the strength of the roof or the roof rack really anyway. I think it's Rhino that they recommend, or even other manufacturers possibly. I'm not going to go into who does what, but you halve your load capacity for off-road. So if they say 100 kilos on road, that means 50 kilos off-road, so it doesn't leave you room for much. So we're going to be fine with a shovel, an awning, a swag, a couple of swags would be all right. Things like that, you know, brooms and rakes for cleaning your campsite if you need it all nice and clean, but not heavy stuff, guys, you know what I mean? So, but absolute max 100, if you all go up to your 100 kilos, you just need to be a bit careful on your cornering and then take that into account on the tracks. If you're not used to having that sort of weight up there, it's what you got to think about. That angle that you used to go on, you need to sort of just go, hang on, I've got an extra 100 kilos up. And the thing is, once it goes on an angle, just think about it. Look at the vehicle. That's why we're focusing on the vehicle, right? You know, you stack it up higher as it stacks up here, you know, and as you go on an angle, that weight is just more, and the more it goes over, it's like, you know, you stand there, you bend on an angle, the further you go, the more likely you're going to fall over, you know. Anyway, I hope you get the gist of it, trying to help you understand what you've got to think about. It's not about the strength of the roofs fine. So some people are going, oh, you know, how much can I put? You know, the absolute limit's 100 for safety, that's the reason. And it's a bada bing reason. Otherwise it could be bada boom, if you know what I mean. Hopefully you know, that helped get you educated and you understand a bit more about what the roof limits are. Please give us a thumbs up if it did, and subscribe, turn the bell on. We're going to have more information, maybe with a bit more detail even on this subject soon. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.